Hi, it's a Constant Angler. In this video today you will see my opinion of the KastKing Valiant Eagle 2. It's an unbiased opinion. I bought this reel. I'm not a sponsored angler by any company, so it's how I feel about this particular reel that I've bought. So I think you'll find some things interesting in there. There'll be a few surprises. It has its pluses and its minuses, but you'll have to watch the whole video, and it is quite a long video, I'm afraid, to see them. Right, so here it is, the KastKing Valiant Eagle 2. I have used it on the bank once before, but I don't like to review reels until I've used them a couple of times. What I don't like, the problem I had, I don't think everybody's been having this, it's just a bit of a machining problem I think, is this, if you see here this locking device, when mine arrived, it was like that. Now, that keeps it on, so that was locked. It was extremely hard, sorry about the weather here, extremely hard to push it any further, to lock it. And then it was very easy to knock it and this end plate come off. Now I thought I would break it if I pushed it any further, so just thought that's the way it was. But yeah, there's not a problem. What I had was a bit of extra sort of spoil on one of these tags here, which was preventing it from really locking. Now I just put a little bit of oil in the mechanism, and now it works. And the more I've used it, the easier it becomes. There's no fear of that coming off now. What some other people have said is that because there's no twist slot mechanism on this, so you don't twist it, take it off, you just lift it straight off. Once you've released it, look, I twisted it then, believe me, you can push it back on. Once you've released this can quite easily fall off, go in the water. You haven't got to twist it again to get it off. So a slight brush and it can come off. Especially the reels like that, it could just drop off, or even worse if it's like that. So just bear that in mind. But yeah, let's see how we go. It's a rainy old day. I had to find somewhere to get out of the wind and the rain a little, and we're just going to cast some lures of various weights, like I normally do, and see what happens. Alright, show you what we start off with, and as always I put the weights in the corner. So we got a little typical plug there, I think just less than 5 grams, something like that. So, but that's what I'll be using in the UK for trout and chub. Hopefully it's a film alright with the water. So the setup, so we got the KastKing Valiant Eagle 2. I have 6 pound J-Braid on there, which is, sorry, 9 pound J-Braid, which is 0.6 millimeters. So not quite what I'd use for trout, but what I would use in this country for general perch fishing, and that is sat on my Sensation Trout STC 662 Ultralight by Obsession. It is a 0.6 to 0.8 gram casting rod. It has a solid tip, bit long for a normal trout rod, but that's what I got. So let's cast down this way. So all I'm doing is just a 1 foot drop, flinking it out. See how it goes. So that's going beautifully. That's brakes are currently on 5.5. We'll have a little look at the brake dial in a second. So I've been before, and I've already sort of guessed, got used to the sort of braking settings I need for various lures. So on this reel you have, from minimum to max, I think it's 22 graduations, and you basically go from 1 to 10 and then the other 2, and you have 1 click in between, say 10 and 9 each major graduation. A very nice brake dial, I do like that. Let's give it a bit more. Well, yeah, that's going great. We'll do Google Earth to give you an idea of distances. That's slightly over braking. I have 50 meters of braid on here, which is what I always use in the UK, because it keeps your Birdsnest and things down. Hung in the air a bit there, but that was me. I just cast a bit high. So we keep doing it. It's winding the lure back nicely. It's all nice and smooth and tight, actually. That's what I'll say about this reel. Get rid of the leaves, debris. A lot of rainwater here today. I'm not actually expecting to catch anything, so if you want to see a fishing video, it's not that. You know, I can give it some on that brake setting, and we're going, well, more than 2/3 of the way across the river, because we're casting at an angle. But if I was casting straight, I wouldn't be too far off the far bank there, but the wind's not going to allow me to do that, I'm afraid. We'll try one. But as you see, that's casting quite nicely, and that's on a brake setting of 5. on just a nice little short drop. I couldn't get my full swing in there, and that wind's right in my face there, so not really worth doing that. Let's see, we'll go down. And what I'm not going to do is oh, the lure tangled up as well, is go down to the lowest break setting I can with every lure, because I'll just burst there. So we're down on 4 now, and I'm expecting, yeah, there's plenty of break there again. Good distance. I feel like there's a little bit more in there. I could wring another foot or 2 out, but you know, the nice of this rain disappeared, but I think we're just going to get a soak in today. So there, I'll give it a bit more there on that cast, and we're a good 2/3 of the way across, casting down. Hell, right, that's why I'm slow. Yeah, it's solid, the reel feels solid. Even more there, hopefully you can see the splash. Yeah, that feels about right, and I know if I go down lower than that, I go 1 click further, the line will start to lift. Nice smooth. Oh, there we go. Actually lost the lure. So what have we got here then? We got a 4-gram cheb head and a little floating Ned lure. You know, this is what I would use for perch. I think it's made by Coram. Can't remember what they're called. But yeah, well, I will weigh that again. So we're going up to the higher end of the casting range now. So I want to turn the brakes up, because I'm expecting this to come off very fast. Let's see how we do. Nice gentle lob to go. Yeah, it's going out there. I feel it's very controlled. I'll try to give it a bit more on that. Yeah, we give it some then. A little bit of a stutter. I can probably go down with the brakes. The sun's come out briefly. Well, like I say, this isn't a how low can I go with the brakes. This is how does the thing fish, because that's what people want to know. You know, that's what I want to know. Is it fishing well? So far it's good, you know. Yeah, I felt it lifting then. Something wasn't quite right. We'll try that again. So this is where you need a good amount of brakes when you're fishing heavier lures. We'll try another gentle one. We'll give it some then. You know, and we're 2/3 across the river. I'm on a brake setting of 6.5. I'll go down to 6. I'm trying my damnedest not the Birdsnest. So you know, I need more control with a heavier lure, because it's going to go faster. There you go, that's going out there. I mean, you know, you got to familiarise yourselves with your lure, your gear. Yeah, I'm consistently hitting a decent distance. The wind's dropped. I'll try going straight across. I can do a measured cast easier. Let's have a look. Out, Birdsnest. I knew I give it too much. Let's get that out. So yeah, it didn't like going and giving it some on a brake setting of 6. So I definitely wouldn't say that's over brake. For larger lures, go back up on the brakes to 7 and try that. Let's get a bit of space. Yeah, it's out there now. Say 2/3 of the way across. Give it a bit more on this one. There you go. Yeah, I felt a little lift there. I don't know if it'll come up on the video, but that's the maximum distance it's going to hit. You know, I'm not going to hit the other side here. I don't know how far it is. We'll do a Google Earth on it, but that's a good 2/3 of the way across. I'll put it up one and give it a bit more. Now, yeah, so I don't think this is over braked. Now interesting. Make sure that end plate's on. The line has gone between the spool and the frame. So what I need to do now is take that off, not over the water because I'll lose it. Pull the spool out. You know, I'm showing you it is. That's what's happened. I wouldn't be expecting that to happen. It can happen, but I wouldn't be expecting it to happen. Let's make sure we've locked that end plate right back on. So what am I thinking at this minute then? Yeah, my cast on is smooth. It's a windy day, there's a side wind, all of that, blah blah blah. You know, gone up to 8 now, and that's now controlled, but I almost feel like it's over braking. I can't seem to find that happy setting where I'm thinking the reels, it just feels as though sometimes it's over braking, but if I drop one more click it's under braking. There don't seem to be a little something in between. Let's go 7.5, you know, and I'm expecting this to frap up. No, it's done it. So, you know, the minute I give it out, the minute I really give it anything, it wants to frap up. That's what my reel's doing. Right, another thing I noticed here is line lay. If you look at the spool here, I can show you hopefully. On the right hand side of the spool, there's quite a dip, and the same on the left. It's as though it's not fully laying the line from side to side, and this could be part of the problem. You know, there's little or no side to side play there, so that is how I would fish it, yet the line lay's not the best. That's a little bit of a concern. The Dark Wolf is a lot better than that. Alright, next lure, I'll show you what I got. So there we go, a little bulbous crankbait, probably about 3.5 grams. As always, I'll put the weight there. I'm going to start off on 6, and the wind is really howling from my left and my right shoulder here now. And so here we go. I do notice that these are very good actually. They're alright in this wet weather. I thought they might be slippy, but they're not. So let's give it a go. Nice and smooth. Yeah, it feels like it's over braking a little at 6. Wind it back in. Yeah, I'm able to go nice and slow, bearing in mind this is quite a fast retrieve on this reel. I can't remember what it is off the bat. I'll have a look in a bit. Alright, so I am not going to go down. The last lure I lost to a Birdsnest cracked off. I'm not going to go right down to its lowest setting every time. It's just, can it fish it? Will it fish it comfortably? Does it cast it the distance I want? That's what we want to know. You know, these casting videos are all very good, but very often I'm not actually trying to cast as far as I can. It's just, I'm pitching and flipping, so we'll try a bit of that in a minute. So let's have a little look at this light lure once we get the brake setting right for this first. Right, I'm down on 5. Show you, no bullshit. Not what my channel's about. That feels about right, and it's a decent distance. You know, it's not miles, but that's a very light crankbait. Alright, so let's try 4.5, keeping everything smooth. How'd it's going? Yeah, actually it's not too bad. It's difficult on a day like this. So what can we say so far? Well, yeah, he chucks lures the distance I expect. Brake settings are somewhere around the mid-range for lures of this weight and up. Yeah, I'm not messing around with the brakes a lot. The cast lures, you know, of a gram difference in weight. I could really hammer it now and get a little bit more out of that, but I don't feel the need to. It's going as far as I would expect a little lure like this to go. Go down to 3.5, but that is as low as I'm going with this. There, and out it goes. And it's you know, it's controlled. If I go down to 3, yeah, there's a Birdsnest, so there's its limit. Let's pop it back up to 4. You know, give it a bit more. There we go. It's going out nicely. Yeah, as far as I would expect with a lure of this size. Let's see what it pitches this lure like on that setting. So if we're just flipping around, yeah, it's doing it. See, you know, just a light little flip. Try it out the side here to the left. Can it pitch and flip lures, lighter lures? You know, because this is what we're doing a lot of the time. Yeah, it's okay. Its accuracy's not bad. Yeah, that's a light lure to be flipping around. It's a bulbous lure as well. I'll try some other lures in a minute, but yeah, on a brake setting of 4 there, You know, there we go. Yeah, beautiful little, feels quite free, feels controlled, not any hints of frap ups. Let's try a little flick off the rod tip. You know, I can show you here just a little flick. Yeah, it's accurate, it's controlled. I can pitch a lure. So here's a lure, next lure. This is about 2 grams, this lure with a clip. I'll put the weights up. Let's take it down to 3 now. Yeah, that's nice. It's cast that nice, a 2 gram lure nice. It isn't that I don't feel like it will do it. It's the details, like that line lay. You can see it there again now. You know, even if I do this, it's still not going right across. But it is on a break setting of 3. Reasonably accurate. I could go lower, try a little lower. I was sort of expecting the bird's nest here. So is it over breaking with the light lures? No, I'm happy with that, but it's almost as if in order to cast the lighter lures now, which is what they say the reel was struggling with because it was over breaking, I've had to compromise the breaks for heavier lures. That's for me. Your situation might dictate that doesn't matter to you. You might just be throwing little lures like that. I mean, a 2 gram lure, get my timing right, that's lovely. The problem I have with it is the dark wolf is now the benchmark, and the dark wolf will do all of this easier with less fiddling. It will cope with the heavier lures easier. It will cast this light lure just as easily. Well, that is great. You know, the line doesn't appear to get trapped between the spool and the frame. You know, the line lay is better. So, you know, that's its competition. That is where it's pitching itself. Do I like the look of it? I love the look of it. It looks a beautiful little reel. I'm a bit disappointed, to be honest. You know, but this lovely little light lure, I feel like I can be accurate. I can cast it. It is fishing it very well. I just don't trust it as much. It's nearly there. If that line lay was better, if that spool tolerance was tighter, I'd be a lot happier. If you've got one, well, depending what you're doing with it, you'll get used to it, and it's little idiosyncrasies you'll be able to live with and adjust to. But you don't have to do that with a dark wolf. Let's just do a little straight cast. It's going to be difficult because there is a bit of a side wind. You know? Yeah, I've got a bird's nest then, which is fair enough because I'm casting into the wind a 2 gram lure. You know? But yeah, it's not what I've seen on the videos with the Kestrel, and they have added that extra metal loop in there, where you can sort of whack it and throw lures a long way. I think the metal ring has probably enabled it to cast the lighter lures better and not be quite so over break. I mean, that setting I got that on is 2, so we are down there. I mean, it'd be ideal if it was up here, but if you want a reel that does everything, we're sort of I'll review the footage, but I think we're sort of around between 6 and 2 for the lures, between 5 grams and 2 grams. You know, you got a bit of adjustment there for on the day. So if I don't cast into the wind and just do a nice lazy cast, it's accurate and it does it. I just wish that line lay was better. Next day, I'm trying to work this reel out. So far I'm not getting on with it that well. I'm having line lay issues. So I thought, whatever, let's go back, let's re-spool, make sure everything's fine. Let's switch rods. Let's not use the Trout rod, let's use the KastinKing Teton, which I normally use to review, and let's see if we can get better line lay, etc. So I put the line on at home, and now I've just walked it out. So I'm back to my fluorocarbon base, and I'm just trying to see what the line lay's like. And the first few turns, look, it's miles out. It's not hitting the side. I got little or no side to side play, and it seems to be bunching up towards the middle. In fact, the line lay seems to be getting worse. So I've walked it out. Let's see if it winds on and gets any better. But it doesn't. You know, you can see it. It's under tension, building up on the right hand side, if you ask me already. Trouble is, every so often it dips over that, and then you get a loose coil. So I thought I'd come down because I was struggling with heavier lures with it. I was cracking off, I was getting bird's nests. Yeah, I went right across there and then, so I don't know why I can't always do it, but you can see it's bunching up in the middle. So whether my reel's faulty, I don't know. I got this off AliExpress. You know, it was one of the first reels they had up for sale. I went straight for it. It cost me about £80 to get here to the UK. But yeah, that line lay's, well, it's atrocious really. I'm not getting this problem with the Dark Wolf. Like I say, this is my opinion, this is my reel, this is thin braid, what I've taken off a Dark Wolf. The problem with Finesse fishing is everything has to be just so. So if your line lay's rubbish to start off with, sooner or later that's going to cause you a problem. Now I hasten to add again, this is my reel that I've purchased, yours might be better. So I dropped the brakes now to 6, we'll drop them down to 5 because I did this yesterday. So this is Surinor times 4 braid, I can't remember the exact breaking strain, I think it's 0.6 again. Let's drop it down to 5, wang it out, and then we'll get into some, yeah, it's nice and controlled. There you can see I've got a loop there now on the side. Now if I hit real good distance there, I'm going to have problems. Now that loop is from the line lay, not from anything I'm doing. Right, so this is something we would typically throw on BFS kit even in the UK. It's just a Ned head, I would guess it's about 5 grams. I will weigh it and show you. And then we got a FFS lures floating finesse stick. So you know, that's the upper sort of end of what I'm going to throw BFS. I would imagine it's about 8 grams, 7-8 grams, something like that. Could be more, could be slightly less, but you know, we're not going up to 10 and above, are we? So we're not power finesse. So I've dulled the brakes up. Let's have a look, we'll see what the drop's like. Yeah, it's a fast drop, isn't it? There's nothing wrong with the speed of the spool in that on the reel. Just play around with that a bit. Not much, to be honest. It's about right. Let's see what it does. But really, I should be able to wang this out. I'm going to do this lightly to start off with. Just, you know. And it's thrown it out there. But it does feel a bit over brake there at the time. But, I don't know. See, it's doing that at the minute on 7. But I bet you, I'm going to try and really thump it one in and out. Because that's what you see them doing with the Kestrel, isn't it? Now I'm suspecting my line lay, which is still bleeding rubbish, will let me down. So let's give it a bit more this time. Now we give it some. Yeah, it's doing it. Now I'm giving it some now with the wind off my back. And it's going out there. So the thing is, it does it. And I don't want to knock it, because I do like KastKing gear. You know, it is what it is. It's cheap, it's cheerful, it generally does the job. It won't last forever, but it lasts a surprisingly good amount of time. So what do I think of the reel? This particular reel that I have has lousy line lay, so that is going to be an issue. It already has been an issue for me, and it will be an issue in the future. Now that might just be the reel I've got. They're budget reels, you know, they're made in China. Maybe the QC isn't that great, maybe it's just the reel I've got. So I'll state that to start off with. What don't I like about the reel? Well, I hate the line lay. The line lay, you know, you're talking finesse, it's all in the word, isn't it? Finesse, things have to be right. That line lay isn't great, it's going to bite me in the ass at some point. It's going to give me bird's nest. The other thing that became apparent, maybe as a result of that, I don't know, was that the spool, the tolerance between the spool and the frame is not fantastic. It's not as good as it is on the Dark Wolf, those kind of reels. Your braid, 0.6 braid, we go a lot lower than that, we go 0.4, you know, was able to, if I got a bird's nest trapped between the spool and the frame. The other thing I didn't like was I had a problem with this lever. You'll have seen in my unboxing, I hadn't realised at that point. But this lever would only go so far back. It wouldn't fully lock. It would lock the plate on, but it would protrude a bit and it was easy to knock forward. Now I sold that with a little bit of PTFE spray I have, just dabbed a bit on the workings, very minimal amount, and then worked it in, and I actually noticed there was a bit of spoil on one of the tabs which was preventing it from really going further, and you can see now, see how easy that is to get off. So you push it forward, it sticks out like that. This was only going back that far. Now it will go back far, lock it. So the other thing that with the unboxing I liked the idea that you could pop that forward and just lift that off. There was no twisting or turning, because with the Dark Wolf, as I said, it was quite awkward, quite stiff. But looking back in hindsight, that's a good thing, because it's quite easy once you've, as I just did, push that through forward, for that to just pop off, drop off. If the reel's not perfectly level, you knock it, you know, it could drop off. If you're on a kayak over the side, well, you buy water, so in the water you might lose it. In a river, gone, you know. So a couple of things there. That's the annoying thing about the reel. It looks lovely. I love the look of the thing. It's fairly smooth. Its drag appears very good. Didn't like this sound disappears halfway through. So there's another little design issue. It did it all. It will cast light lures. It will cast heavier lures. I didn't feel like I could really smack a heavy lure personally with this reel, but that's probably something to do with the line lay. Without it bird's nesting. Now on my trout rod that I was trying to do it with, and I did get the bird's nests, I think the tip was too floppy, so there was an element of judder in that when I was going up sort of around 7, 8, 9 grams or whatever it is. I'll weigh the things and we'll see what they were. When I went back to the Teton, it's more continuous power input, so I didn't have that problem. But I lost my confidence of the reel. I didn't feel I could really whack it one like you see them doing the videos for the Kestrel. Now, that could just be this reel. I cleaned the bearings out because I didn't feel it was running free enough, and sure enough there was a lot of grease in there. I put 1 drop of low viscosity oil from Teflon on each bearing, and I thought it was purring quite nicely. And as I said in the unboxing video, it is until you put a lure on that you really know what these reels would do. You know, this spool spinning, that's wonderful, but it's the combination of that and how good the brakes are. And sometimes putting a lure on makes all the difference. What seems to you to be a very slow reel, when you go and fish with it, is a delight. So I wanted to like it. I still do want to like it. So KastKing, if you're listening to this and you want to send me a reel that's got better line lay, I'm willing to give it a go. But I've shelled out £80 for a reel that's probably just going to sit by the side, because every time I'm going to go and grab that Dark Wolf, which is about the same price. I noticed they got them on sale for £40. So I'm basically saying I wouldn't recommend the reel on this reel that I have. Others might love it. You really got to get rid of that line lay issue. If it is just my reel, then it's just a QC problem. If it's not, then it is a big problem. And this needs to be fixed and be more user-friendly somehow. You probably do need to put a twist in there with your next reel that you do, so that people aren't, you know, you can say it's their fault or not, but they're not losing their end place, because they're losing their end place, they're losing confidence in the product and the company. So, you know how much I like KastKing stuff. I like it for what it is. To me, if this is what they're all like, the Finesse side of things is something they really need to work on. Trying to do that on a budget is it's a thing to pull off. It's hard to pull it off. And I don't think this reel has quite pulled that off. Not for me, anyway. I know others that do like them. So personally, the Constant Angler is not going to recommend this reel at present. Cheers. Please like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. If you really enjoy my channel, give us a thanks. Might help me pay for this reel that I've just spent £80 on that I'm probably not going to use. Cheers. Catch you later. Constant Angler.